actually going to do something very special for this Hairband Fistfight, which is for the first time ever. I mean, the fans have been saying this for a long time, so we're finally going to do it.
Hell yeah.
Which is we're going to have a special edition of Hairband Fistfight for hearing aid. And that's not ing, by the way. It's the cool way,
Right.
just the letter
And
N.
an apostrophe,
Yeah.
yes.
Hearing aid. And this is where
Apostrophe
the hard
N,
rock
actually.
guys of the 80s got together to record a song and put together an album to sell to help raise money for starving people around the world.
Right.
Because they weren't invited to We Are the World.
Right. That's right. There was Band-Aid, which was in England,
Yeah.
and they had Let Them Know It's Christmas Time Again,
Yeah.
raised a bunch of money, whatever. And then, of course, there was USA for Africa,
Yeah.
and they did that. What was the name of the song?
We Are the World.
We Are the World. Right, yes. We Are the World.
That one.
They also were not invited to Dionne Warwick and Friends to sing That's What Friends Are For.
Right.
Yes.
That's what's put them over the edge in that.
Right, that was it. That was the last straw.
Exactly. Now, the rumor has, I even have notes for this. It's crazy.
There was research
But
done.
this is a big deal. So anyway, so the metal guys get together to record the song "We're Stars" or "Stars," and there was a whole making of how they put it together. And it was the Dio guys that got it started. It was actually Vivian Campbell and Jimmy Bain.
Who?
Jimmy Bain.
Who?
Jimmy the Bain.
Great.
The great. Jimmy Bain. Unfortunately, the late.
The late great,
Late
yes,
great, yes.
indeed.
But
Late
we love
great Jimmy Bain.
So Jimmy and Vivian went to a radio station for this big fundraising thing and noticed that there was a bunch of stars there from all these other types of music, and the metal community was not looking good.
Underrepresented,
Yeah, and they were
yes.
like, hey, wait a minute. We
Not
care just as much
represented
as
well.
George Michael and all these other people. So we're going to get together and we're going to write a song, and we're going to invite all the hard rock guys, and we're going to create a song to do this. So they invited all these singers, guitar players. There was a couple of drummers thrown in. So
We got the shaft.
yeah, how come we didn't get
We
invited?
should talk
I don't
about
know.
it.
This is ridiculous.
It would have been great.
Now, everybody out there, if you haven't seen the Stars video, look down below in the comments. There's a link. And you need to click on it and watch it before you watch the rest of this.
Right, pause here. Okay, you're back.
Okay.
Cool.
So, and that's a great idea because you want to watch Stars, the video
Of course.
from 1985, and even the making of.
Yes.
course.
Yes,
Yeah.
and then you can watch us talk about it and give our
Yeah.
opinion that you don't care about.
Yeah.
Right.
At all.
But nonetheless, we're going to have one. So anyway, let's discuss Stars in general. Now, I thought it was wonderful to watch. It was wonderful to watch the making of. And there's so many great moments in it. There's great performances. There's people who are making great jokes.
There's errors.
There's errors.
There's lots of errors. I
There's
thought it was-
Spinal Tap.
The Spinal Tap
right.
guys are there, yes. And the Spinal Tap guys were fantastic.
Of course.
First of all, they were talking about the vocalists, and he says that I'm going to spare the engineers.
Yeah.
He didn't want to break the equipment with the power.
Yeah,
of the
he
Right.
said he has vocal
Yeah.
cords that he hasn't even found yet. That's
Thank God for all of them
Yes,
in the building that day.
exactly. And then, of course, and I have to agree with him that the Spinal Tap guys for bringing up the point that he does say Yngwie J. Malmsteen, and the fact that he does that to separate himself from all the other Yngwie Malmsteens
Right.
out there.
Right.
That he needs to put
Gotta
the J.
put
It's good to have the J,
So
just in
that
case.
is a good point. That he brought up.
Disambiguation,
Yeah,
It's
yes.
a very good point that he brought up. So notable things for me, like for example, they have a choir when they're all singing "We're Stars,"
Yes.
right? Okay, and the choir is made up of all these famous metal people, and one of the highlights for me is if you look in the top left-hand corner of the choir,
He is the choir.
you see Ted Nugent
Huge.
And
and Chris Holmes of Wasp.
Oh, it's the best.
Now,
Go ahead.
I was going to say, what I find the beauty of this is the fact that they are acting identically the same. Like they're both going crazy. They look like madmen up there singing. And the best part about it is that Chris Holmes is definitely wasted out of his mind on something, but Ted Nugent is completely sober.
Right.
Right.
And they're acting the same. So that's what I love about that. Noticing that.
Now, how can you pray for the children if you're not pulling your hair out the whole time? Where's that? He's like, Chris Holmes is like grabbing his hair.
Crazy.
He's like pulling it out. It's
Right.
terrific.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes you wonder what Nuge really was thinking.
I
Think about it. they're polar opposites in so many ways. I mean, is Ted laughing behind his back? Chris Holmes is out of his mind.
Exactly.
And I don't know if you noticed, but George Lynch is standing right in front of them, like scared out of his mind. He's like trying to keep his distance.
No,
He's probably afraid
Wallace
Ted's
being
carrying.
Chris Holmes' bandmate is smart. He's way up.
He's
towards
in
the
front. He's right.
He's in the front row. He's
Yeah,
like, I'm
on
so
the
far
side.
away from Chris Holmes.
He knows.
Directly below them, if you notice, and maybe you haven't, is, to me, a highlight of that choir is not only that is beautiful, but then if you listen to the actual track, the highest vocal in the big thing is sung by Halford.
Yes.
Yes.
Down
Yeah.
below that
Yeah,
is
he's way up.
Halford just belting out this insane note. You couldn't get further apart. So
Exactly.
like,
The whole choir
is
is
Chris
like,
Holmes even? He's singing a verse. I mean,
I don't
he's
even know
not
what
even
he's singing.
close.
Yeah, he's saying something totally different.
Oh, it's beautiful.
You can hear Halford in there. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Oh,
Yeah,
it
because the
stands
whole
out.
choir's like, "We're stars," and then he's like, "We're stars," like he's
Correct.
50 octaves
I
up.
can't.
You can.
You
It's
can't even see it. It's so high.
Well, I got to point something out. The entire video just starts with greatness, right? All it is a finger-picking, like, clean guitar,
yes.
right, by Vivian Campbell.
Okay.
All right.
And
Next to him is Jimmy Bain, who's a bass player, but no, he doesn't have a bass in his hands. He has a guitar,
Yes.
and he's strumming the guitar. There's no strumming at the beginning of the song.
I had not noticed that.
Right, he's faking the whole thing. I don't even know if he can play at all. I don't know.
of course he can. He's Jimmy Bain.
Oh man.
It makes you wonder though, why would they have him strum a guitar when there's no strumming guitar
Because
going
they
on?
feel sorry for him.
He was left out.
He can't do anything.
The song says, "Who cries for the children?"
Right. Jimmy Bain does.
Jimmy Bain does.
For the record, we love Jimmy. It's funny though. It is complicated.
Listen, before you send your hate mail to all of us, just send it to me. I just never really liked Jimmy Bain.
As a player, you didn't know him as a person.
Right. He's probably
I'm
a very
sure he
nice
was a
guy.
great guy.
Right.
Who strums a fake guitar and doesn't make any noise.
Yeah.
The whole setup is terrific because you got Ronald James Dio in the background. Who cries for the children, right?
Yeah.
With the headset on and
Yeah.
everything. It's terrific. Terrific. So I love when Brad Gillis walks in the studio
And covers the
he covers
stew.
the stew up, so I see his Dio.
Nice.
It's like
Beautiful.
Correct.
Nice.
now,
Nice.
we met Brad Gillis, and I had a picture of the choir from Stars for him to sign. Do you remember this?
I do.
Where did you acquire a picture of the
And
choir?
There's a good story. Good.
Go, go.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It had to be on the internet.
Oh,
It was
okay.
a picture of
Just
the
tell
choir
them.
of Stars. And we saw him in a restaurant after we watched Night Ranger perform. And I went up to him and I showed him the photo and I thought that's a cool thing to have somebody sign because he was a big part of it. And he said, "Oh my God, where'd you get that photo from?" He signs whatever. I go, and so of all the things we ask him, "What do you remember about that day?" And he says, "I remember before I went to the studio that day, I got my hair cut somewhere, and I just didn't like the way it came out."
So he was in pain.
The whole time.
In pain signing this picture
Yes.
that he hates.
Dio set him up to have a bad haircut so he would
Right.
come and perform with crying his heart
Right,
for
right.
the children that day.
It worked.
It definitely worked. It definitely worked.
good stuff.
Any other general statements we'd like to? Well, we're going to throw in because we're going to do a category with singers and guitar players because they were the focal points. But let's point out the fact that Vinny Appice, not a piece,
Right.
right?
Right.
Piece of what?
What?
Vinny Appice.
I know.
You know. Listen, ask him. I don't know. I don't want to sound like my brother. So, Vinny Appice and Frankie
Banali.
Banali were the drummers. They came together. And I love how when they're talking to Frankie, he's smacking on gum while he's setting up his hi-hat stand, which is great. They asked me a 24-hour call and, all that stuff.
By the way, in this genre of music, there's never a reason for more than one drummer. Ever. I don't even care if it's Stars, okay? And Frankie is way better than Appice anyway, so Appice parked it out in the parking lot for the night.
Nice. Nice.
Well, was there actually a bass player?
I don't think so.
Think about it.
I don't think so.
Because Jimmy Bain was strictly playing
Fake guitar.
Fake guitar, right. of course.
We don't know who played bass.
Who played bass?
I don't know. I don't know.
You should have asked Brad Gillis.
I saw Jimmy playing bass when all I heard was strumming guitar in the background.
Right,
So
right.
it was just the opposite.
Nice. There is a bass part. I definitely heard that one note playing the whole time. Just not sure who did it.
Nice. Or Brittingham snuck in, I'm sure. Yeah.
Could have been Brittingham, but he wasn't there.
Snuck out the back door.
Yes.
That's right.
Any other comments about it? They did put out a whole album for it. Because I remember the live
yeah?
version of Heaven's on Fire by Kiss was on the
Oh,
record.
okay.
There was a live version of some song by the Scorpions on the album.
Yep.
Other bands that chipped in couldn't get there or weren't there.
I
they
would have
chipped in.
liked to know some of the other different credits of who actually did the engineering. Obviously, it seemed as if you see the film, the filming of it.
You do see the engineers
so,
there, yeah.
you do, but you also see that clearly Dio is overseeing most of the production.
He is.
Who are those guys? What's their take? Why didn't we invite those guys here to do this?
We should have.
Why didn't they kick Jimmy Bain out? Well, we don't know the answers to these
It's
questions.
just a very, it's you're gonna get a
Mutt Lang played the whole bass part.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Exactly. Thorough investigation of all this.
yeah,
Yes.
the investigation.
No,
of-
well, it drives me crazy because I mean, more than a few times, there's one engineer who, my God, he must smoke 50 packs a day because that's all you do is see the guy smoking.
He's
You see
probably not even
the
alive.
smoking. He's probably not.
And it's amazing.
And these guys are singing it like Dio's standing right there. I know he does. It's like, dude, put the cigarette. Like, oh my God, like
Back then, you just
It was the 80s, man. It was the
yeah,
80s.
It's crazy.
just
Yeah.
dealt with it. You know, and it's amazing that all these metal bands were in town at the same time. Like Blue Oyster Cult, Vanilla Fudge,
Whoa.
and Journey.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That's true.
I can't.
That's right. Vanilla Fudge. That's true.
You just pummeled me. Love me like a baby seal.
I would like to.
All right, hang on, guys. Battery's about to die. Let's pause here, and I'll change.
How long do you think you got?
We'll find out. Yeah, here you go. All right. Yeah, start where you just did. Yeah. Go ahead. We're back.
Well, we'll finish up this. I do want to point out the fact that I did enjoy listening to some of the artists speak about the cause.
Yes.
Because Ted clearly pointed out that they needed to send some food to the starving folk.
No, some corn.
Corn, yes, corn.
Is that what he said?
You need to
Yeah,
send
I
some
knew
corn
that.
to the starving folk.
Yeah. While he's smacking gum with Frank Vinale.
Nice. Jeez, guys.
And I'm sure Vivian had plenty to say, but I couldn't understand him with that crazy lisp. He's like, blah, blah, blah. I couldn't understand what he said. He was like Jan Brady, like I couldn't understand anything he was saying. Sylvester the cat.
Oh my god.
For the record, when they went to get that record contract, there's no way they should have waited for Peter. The hell with Peter. They got a record contract.
Right?
Sit on the sidelines. But anyway, Vince Neil had pointed out that. What did he say? He goes, "Hey, if I was going to have a party in my backyard, this would be all the people
These
I
are
would
people
invite
Right,
anyway."
invite, yeah.
So that was kind of cool. Vince was there, whatever.
Good stuff.
His
Anything else?
vocal didn't make the track.
His vocal didn't. I don't think they even asked him, which was interesting.
Well,
I think that they already asked people, and people
Ahead
were going
of
to show
time.
up, and then there were more people that said, "Hey, we're interested in coming." And they're like, "Just come." And
Yes.
be part
That
of
could
the.
Be
Yeah.
part of the choir,
yeah,
right.
Probably how it worked out. Yeah,
Because I'm
probably.
sure word was catching on, and they were probably already
Right.
overlooked anyway.
Yes. Yes. So, anything else we want to add about stars in general? Are we good in this?
they need to do a new one. I think a 2018 or 19 would be a nice.
I would
version.
really enjoy that.
Yeah.
I did read that Dio's wife wanted to re-release it on CD, and she wanted to put out a DVD of the making of, but with even a lot more. She said there's a lot more footage nobody ever saw. I would
Nice.
love that. I'd love that.
Some more
What does our
rough
studio
cuts.
audience think of that?
Thank you.
That'd be great.
Awesome, right?
Yeah.
That,
We
right?
need more
Yes.
rough cut.
Yes.
Yes.
More Shortino.
Yes.
You know.
Shortino's awesome.
Yes. So we're going to move on to the part two. We're going to move on to the singers of
Yeah.
stars
Yeah.
for part two. We usually do this traditional format where we have categories. If you're familiar with Hairband Fistfight, Gross Handler, if you could show yourself behind the camera
Yes,
for a
here I
second
am.
there. And what are those categories we usually do? What is it?
He just flashed them up.
They are technical. Yeah, I'll put them on the screen. Technical,
Okay.
field, writer, best overall, and who'd you rather have in your band?
Exactly. Excellent categories, but we're going to go a
Yes.
little bit general on this one because it's such a
This is a nice casual party we're having.
nice casual Christmas
Yes.
stars party. So
Yes.
we'll see you for episode 2 to discuss the Singers of Stars.
Right.